Welcome friends. In the previous lecture we have solved examples on rectilinear motion. In this lecture also we are going to solve examples on rectilinear motion. Similar examples. So let us start with one example. A building of 30 meter height is shown. So there is a building of height 30 meter. A ball is thrown vertically upward from the top of the building with velocity 19.62 meter per second. The velocity with which the ball is thrown vertically upward is 19.62 meter per second. With this velocity, when the ball is thrown vertically upward, it will go somewhere. It will rise to this height, h1. So we are asked, what is asked? We are asked the maximum height attained by the ball above the ground. This h. This is ground level. This is height 30 meter of building. From the top of the building, a ball is thrown vertically upward. So when it is thrown vertically upward, when a ball or any object is thrown vertically upward with some particular velocity, as gravitational acceleration is acting on the ball in downward direction, the velocity of the ball or that object goes on decreasing, and at a certain point this velocity will be 0. The object will stop momentarily at that position and then will start falling down. So this height where the velocity will become 0, this height is the maximum height attained by the object, and we are asked that height from ground level. So this is h, and let this height is h1. So maximum height attained above the ground. Then second point that is asked, that is the total time for which the ball was in the air. It was thrown from the top of the building. The instant at which it is thrown, we are measuring the time. So it will rise, it will attain this maximum height, and then will start falling down and will reach the ground. So in this entire journey, what is the time taken by the ball means total time for which the ball was in the air. We are asked to find one more thing, that is when this ball is falling on the ground, just before striking the ground, the ball will have certain velocity. We are asked to, let this point is C, we are asked to find velocity of ball just before striking the ground. So these three parameters are asked: maximum height attained by the ball, total time for which the ball was in the air, and the velocity of the ball just before striking the ground. So for this, let us first find this velocity. So let this position is A, this position is B. So this is velocity at B and this is velocity at A. So velocity at A is equal to 19.62 meter per second. This is given. When it will reach to B, that is maximum height, the velocity is equal to 0. Because the velocity is going on decreasing, and when velocity becomes 0, the ball stops rising upward and momentarily it will stop and then will start falling down. So velocity at B is equal to 0, and the distance covered is h1, and time taken for this, let it be t1. Time taken by ball to travel from A to B, let the time is t1. So initial velocity is 19.62 meter per second. Final velocity for this motion AB is equal to 0 meter per second, and acceleration, that is gravitational acceleration, is 9.81 meter per second square. In the example, specifically this value will be mentioned. If value is not mentioned, consider this as 9.81 meter per second square. So let us first consider motion of ball from A to B. We are considering motion of ball from A to B. For this motion, we know V is equal to U plus AT. So if this equation is used, instead of using this equation, let us put values, appropriate notations for initial and final velocity. So final velocity is velocity at B, that is VB. So VB is equal to initial velocity is VA, and this is upward motion. Therefore gravitational acceleration is acting downward. Therefore retardation minus, instead of EA there is G, and instead of T there is T1, because time required for the ball to travel from A to B, to move from A to B, that is T1. So VB is equal to VA minus G T1. VB is known, VA is known, G is known. In this equation only T1 is unknown. Why we are finding T in this case? Because we know we want to find this distance h. S is equal to ut plus 1 half AT square. So to find distance, that is height attained by the ball, we need time, and therefore first we are finding time. VB is equal to 0, VA is equal to 19.62 minus 9.81 into T1. So here we can write T1 is equal to 9.81, T1 is equal to 19.62. T1 is equal to 19.62 divided by 9.81, that is T1 is equal to 2 seconds. So we are getting this value of T1, that is time taken by ball to travel from A to B, that is 2 seconds. Then we know S is equal to ut plus 1 half AT square. So in this, instead of this, let us use appropriate terms. S is denoted by here h1, therefore h1 is equal to u, that is initial velocity, VA into T, that is T1, and motion is upward, therefore negative sign, minus 1 half into, instead of A, G and T1 square. So using this equation and using appropriate terms, we have a rewritten equation. Instead of writing this, if you can understand, you can directly, you may put these values directly. So we don't know h1. h1 is equal to VA, that is 19.62 into T1, just now we have found, that is 2, minus 1 half into G 9.81 into T1, that is 2 square. H1 is equal to 19.62 meter. So we are getting this height 19.62 meter. So maximum height h is equal to maximum height attained by the ball above the ground. So let us write this answer first. Maximum height attained above the ground is equal to h is equal to 30 plus this height, that is 19.62. So 30 plus 19.62 is equal to 49.62 meter. So h is equal to 49.62 meter above the ground. Now again we are asked to find total time required, total time for which the ball was in the air. The first time we have determined, that is T1. Let time taken by ball to travel from B to C. So when ball is thrown from A with velocity 19.62 meter, the velocity was going on decreasing, and when it will reach at B, the velocity will become 0, and then it will start falling down. So time required for this ball to fall from B to C, that is up to ground, is T2. So this velocity at B, VB is equal to 0. Velocity at C is not known. Velocity at C is not known, but this distance h is known. So distance is known, initial velocity is known, acceleration is known. Only unknown is time. So we can use this equation. Using this equation, S is equal to ut plus 1/2 at square. Now here S is equal to h. We are considering motion from B to C. Therefore h. Initial velocity u is equal to Vb and t is equal to t2 and a is equal to g. So this is equal to Vb into t2 plus y positive sign. Now motion is downward plus 1/2 into g into t2 square. Therefore, we know h is equal to, h we have determined, that is 49.62. So putting this value of h, 49.62 is equal to, Vb is equal to initial velocity 0, 0 plus, so 1/2 into 9.81, that is 4.905, writing directly. G is equal to 9.81 divided by 2, that is 4.905, and T2 is equal to unknown that we want to find. Therefore, T2 square. Making calculations. T2 is equal to 3.18 seconds. Total time for which the ball was in the air, that is T1 plus T2. So let us write total time for which the ball was in the air. T is equal to T1 plus T2 is equal to, T is equal to, T1 is equal to 2, T2 is equal to 3.18, therefore T is equal to 5.18 seconds. T is equal to 5.18 seconds. Thus we have determined two parameters, that is height, maximum height attained by the ball above the ground, and total time for which the ball was in the air. Now the last parameter, that is velocity of the ball just before striking the ground. So velocity of the ball just before striking the ground, we can use this equation, V is equal to u plus at, and for this let us consider motion B to C. When we are considering motion B to C, initial velocity is Vb, final velocity is Vc, A is gravitational acceleration G, and T is, that is T2. So here let us write V is equal to Vc is equal to initial velocity Vb plus y plus, because downward motion, and G into T is T2. Putting values, so Vb is equal to 0 plus 9.81 into T2 is equal to 3.18. Therefore velocity Vc is equal to 31.19 meter per second. The velocity at C is equal to 31.19 meter per second. Thus we have determined all the parameters. Let us solve one more example. Next example, a well is shown. This is water level in the well. A stone is dropped from the ground level. This is ground level. A stone is dropped from the ground level in the well. The stone will fall and will strike the water surface. When it will strike the water surface, the sound of splash is created, and this sound of splash is heard after time 3.28 seconds. The sound of splash which was created here when stone will strike the water surface was heard after 3.28 seconds. So we are asked to calculate depth of fall. What is given? A stone is dropped into a well. The sound of splash is heard after 3.28 seconds. And calculate depth of well means depth of water surface from the ground level. So here the important thing which should note, that is, when the stone is dropped, its initial velocity is 0. This stone is dropped, it is not thrown. So stone is dropped, it will travel from ground to the water surface. Let time taken by stone to reach to water surface, that is T1. When it will reach the water surface, it will strike on the water surface and the sound of splash is created. This sound will travel from water surface up to the ground level, and time taken by this sound to travel from water surface to the ground is T2, and therefore T is equal to T1 plus T2. What is T1 and what is T2? T1 is time taken by a stone to travel from ground to water surface, and T2 is time taken by sound to travel from water surface to the ground. So this is total time. The velocity of sound, that is 330 meter per second or 320 or 340 meter per second. Let us assume this velocity of sound is 320 meter per second. If this is given in the example, consider the given velocity. If it is not given, you can assume 320 meter per second, 330 meter per second, 340 meter per second. So let us assume velocity of sound is 320 meter per second. Now to travel this distance h, so we know s is equal to ut plus 1/2 at square. Here s is h, so h is equal to u is initial velocity. The stone was dropped, it was not thrown, therefore initial velocity is 0, first term is 0. Why positive sign? Downward motion of the stone, therefore positive sign. 1/2 into a, that is gravitational acceleration, so 9.81 into t, that is t1 square. So we can write this as h is equal to 4.905 t1 square. Let this be equation number 1. Now the stone is striking the water surface and the sound of splash is created. This sound will again travel distance h. So for sound, this equation which we have written is for stone which was falling in downward direction. For this sound, again h is equal to ut plus 1/2 at square. So s is equal to h, because sound has also to travel the same distance h. Ut, velocity of sound 320 into t is t2. Now what about this acceleration? The velocity of sound we are assuming uniform. Velocity is uniform means acceleration is 0. The velocity will not change with time. That means change in velocity with respect to time is 0. Therefore acceleration is 0. Therefore 320 into t2. So this is equation number 2. We can equate these two equations. We have relation between these two. T is equal to t1 plus t2. So here t is equal to 3.28. 3.28 is equal to t1 plus t2. So we can write t1 is equal to 3.28 minus t2, or t2 is equal to 3.28 minus t1. Accordingly, appropriately, we will use here in the equation. So equating these two, therefore 4.905 t1 square is equal to 320 into t2. Let t2 is equal to 3.28 minus t1. So E is equal to 320 into 3.28 minus T1. So entire equation is now in terms of T1. We can simplify this equation. So multiplying by 320 in the equation, that is 4.905 T1 square is equal to 1049.6 minus 320 T1. So 4.905 T1 square plus 320 T1 minus 1049.6 is equal to 0. So this is quadratic equation. We can solve this quadratic equation dividing entire equation by 4.905 T1. Therefore, T1 square dividing entire equation by 4.905 to simplify, T1 square plus 65.24 T1 minus 213.98. So solving this quadratic equation for T1 is equal to minus b, that is minus 65.24 plus or minus under root b square, that is 65.24 square minus 4ac, that is 4 into 213.98. I said minus 4ac, b square minus 4ac, but for c there is negative sign, therefore minus minus it is becoming positive, divided by 2a, a is equal to 1, T1 is equal to T1 is equal to 3.129 seconds. For this quadratic equation we are getting two values. There is another value which is negative, but this time cannot be negative. Therefore T1 is equal to 3.129 seconds. You can observe the total time is 3.28 seconds, and out of 3.28 the time taken by stone to travel, to fall from top to the water surface, that is 3.129 seconds, and therefore T2 is very small, that is 3.28 minus 3.13, that is only 0.15 seconds, 0.15 seconds. So let us find, as T1 is known, putting this value in equation 1, we can find H. Therefore H is equal to, that is depth of water surface, 4.905 into 3.129 square. H is equal to 48.04 meter. The depth of water surface from the ground is 48.04 meter. How we have calculated this depth? Only by dropping a stone from the ground and measuring time to hear the sound of splash, that is sound when the stone will strike the water surface. Thus we have calculated depth of well, that is depth of water surface in the well. One more example. Example is, a stone is thrown vertically upward from the ground with velocity 36 meter per second. Stone A is thrown vertically upward with velocity 36 meter per second. So with this velocity, when stone is thrown, it will rise, it will go upward. After 3 seconds, stone B is thrown vertically upward. This stone is thrown after 3 seconds and with velocity 28 meter per second. Initially, first stone A was thrown vertically upward with velocity 36 meter per second. When this stone is thrown after 3 seconds, that is 3 seconds later, another stone B is thrown vertically upward with velocity 28 meter per second. So we are asked when and where these two stones will meet. So we don't know when and where these two stones will meet. We are assuming that these stones will cross at height h from the ground. So for stone A, let us write equation for stone A. H is equal to, we know S is equal to ut plus 1 half at square. Therefore H is equal to ut. Time taken by stone to travel this distance is t. What is t? T is time taken by stone A to travel this distance. But stone B is thrown after 3 seconds. Therefore time taken by this stone is t minus 3. This is important. Why? Because stone B is thrown after 3 seconds. So time taken by stone B to travel this distance is t minus 3. For stone A, H is equal to ut plus 1 half at square. But as the motion is upward against gravitational acceleration, we are using negative sign. S is equal to ut plus 1 half g t square. Now here t is equal to t. Let us keep as it is. So h we don't know, but initial velocity is known. For stone A it is 36. Therefore 36 t minus gravitational acceleration 9.81 divided by 2, that is 4.905. How we have written this? Gravitational acceleration divided by 2, gravitational acceleration 9.81 divided by 2 into t square. Sorry, I forgot to write square. S is equal to ut plus 1 half at square. 4.905 t square. So this is equation number 1. Yet this is equation number 1. Now one more equation, that is for stone B. For stone B, again S is equal to ut plus 1 half at square. H is equal to ut minus 1 half gt square. Now here let us keep, okay, H will remain as it is. U is initial velocity of stone B, that is 28. And what is t? T is equal to t minus 3. So here t minus 3 minus g 9.81 divided by 2, that is 4.905 into, this is t minus 3 bracket square. Expanding this square and simplifying the equation, H is equal to 28t minus 28 into 3. T minus 28 into 3, that is 84 minus 4.905 into t minus 3 bracket square, that is a minus b bracket square, t square minus 60 plus 9. Again simplifying this, H is equal to 28t minus 84 minus 4.905 t square plus 4.905 t square minus plus 4.905 into 6, that is 29.43 t minus plus, that is minus 4.905 into 6, that is 44.4 t. Again there are two terms, 28t and this is 29.43 T, 84 and 44.40. Simplifying this, we are getting H is equal to 28T plus 29.43 T, that is 57.43 T, 84 and 44.14, that is 128.14, and 4.905 T square as it is. So let this be equation number 2. We have equation number 1 and equation number 2. We can equate these two equations. Equating equation number 1 and 2, we can write 36T minus 4.905 T square. 36T minus 4.905 T square is equal to 57.43 T minus 128.14 minus 4.905 T square. This is minus 4.905 T square minus 4.905 T square will get cancelled, and the equation will be more simple, that is 57.43 T minus 36T is equal to 128.40. This is equal to 21.43 T is equal to 128.14, and therefore T is equal to 5.979, that is 5.98 seconds. If T is equal to 5.98 seconds, we can put this value in equation 1 as we have obtained T and find H. Therefore H is equal to, putting value of T, H is equal to 36 into 5.98 minus 4.905 into 5.98 square. H is equal to 39.87 meter. So both stones will cross each other at height 39.87 meter from the ground. In this example, a tower of height H is given and a body is dropped freely. Means it is dropped, it is not thrown. It is dropped from the top of the tower. During its motion and during its last second of motion, so during last second of its motion, it covers 1/3 of height of the tower. We are asked to find height of the tower. So during last second of its motion means if total time required to travel to fall from top to the ground is T, then time required to travel this is what? T minus 1, because this is 1 second. This is 1 second, and this time, total time to travel this distance, that is T. Time to travel this distance, that is T minus 1. If this height is h by 3, then this height is 2h by 3. Therefore h by 3 plus 2h by 3 is equal to h. So what is question? A body is allowed to fall freely from the top of the tower. During last second of its motion, it covers 1/3 of height of the tower, and therefore we have shown here 1/3. This is last second of its motion. Therefore 1 second, last second. Total time required is t, and therefore distance covered by the body in time t is h, and in time t minus 1 is 2h by 3. Let us consider first this motion, that is, if this is A, this is B, and this is C position of the body. So we are considering motion first A to C. For A to C motion, initial velocity is 0. S is equal to what? H. A to C. S is equal to H. So H is equal to initial velocity 0. is equal to 0 plus 1 half into y positive sign, downward motion, into a, that is g, 9.81, into t, that is not known, so time required is t square. So we can write this as h is equal to 4.905 t square. Let this be equation number 1. When we have considered motion from A to C, let us consider motion A to B. We have considered motion A to B. For this motion, again we are using same equation. S is equal to, now what is S? A to B, distance is 2h by 3. So distance is 2h by 3 is equal to, initial velocity in this case also 0, because A to B, initial velocity 0, and plus 1 half A, that is 1 half into 9.81 into, instead of t now there is t minus 1, so t minus 1 square. Here also simplifying the equation, 2h by 3, this is 9.81 divided by 2, that is 4.905. 4.905 into 3 divided by 2. So h is equal to 4.905 into 3 divided by 2 into t minus 1 bracket square, expanding the bracket, that is t square minus 2t plus 1. T square minus 2t plus 1. Solving this, h is equal to 7.357 into bracket t square minus 2t plus 1. Multiplying by 7.357 into bracket, h is equal to 7.357 t square minus 14.71t plus 7.357. So this is equation number 1. We have equation number 1 and equation number 2. Equating equation number 1 and 2, we are getting 4.905 t square is equal to, equating 1 and 2, 4.905 t square is equal to 7.357 t square minus 14.71 t plus 7.357. Now simplifying this equation, so taking 4.905 t square on right hand side, we are getting 7.357 minus 4.905, that is 2.452 t square minus 14.71 t plus 7.357 is equal to 0. Dividing entire equation by 2.452, t square minus 6t plus 3 is equal to 0. Again this is quadratic equation. Solving this quadratic equation, minus b, that is plus 6 plus or minus under root b square minus 4 into ac, a is equal to 1, c is equal to 3 divided by 2. We are getting this is equal to plus 6 plus or minus 12, 36 minus 12, 24. So put 24 divided by 2 and t is equal to solving this quadratic equation, t is equal to plus 6 plus or minus under root 6 square minus 4 into 3 upon 2. We are getting two values of t. T is equal to 5.449 second or 0.55 second. Both values are acceptable. So using these values of t, we can find h. So putting these values of t in this equation, h is equal to 145.63 meter or 1.483 meter. But the height of tower will not be 1.483 meter. Therefore, acceptable height is 145.63 meter. So when it is dropped from the height 145.63 meter, during last second of its motion, it will cover 1/3 of the height, and time taken to reach the ground will be 5.449 seconds. Thank you.